Welcome one more day to life ENArmonya. It's been a very hot day. Here in Spain we have temperatures which are crazy now in summer. Easily 40 degrees Celsius. And today I would like to speak about the feeling of the presence, that intelligence that brings life, true love, acceptance, transformation. And it's very important because we usually look for answers or get away from this presence, running away from pain or suffering, thinking that only by eating or drinking or giving up all our integrity can we escape the state of discomfort. But presence can even be found in a state of grief, pain, discomfort, disease. I speak from experience. This is not a theory. And all this was communicated by amazing teachings, which were misunderstood. Even in the Bible, you find amazing teachings, which are parallel to those of the Vedas and other traditions. I will actually leave a very extensive article in the blog, themusicofwisdom.blogspot.com, the Song of Reality, and there I explain the relation between Brahman, Abraham, Atman, the true self, the teachings of Ishu. Because there is a connection. The prophets in the Bible were teachers of a very high order, and only those involved with true understanding can really bring to life these teachings here and now, without theories, without speculations. But it's necessary to listen from a deeper place, understand from the essence, the presence. For instance, there are many teachings that sacrifice the flesh. In some traditions, mystics go away from the world, they get into a cave, they try to transcend the physical body. In ancient times, this was known as the sacrifice of oneself, the sacrifice of one's own son. You know the story of Abraham. In Genesis 22, versicle 2, you find Abraham being told by El Shaddai, the provider, the intelligence of nature that provides, let's say. It's not the infinite God directly, it's the intelligence of the universe, so to say, speaking through the body, the nature. And Abraham listens, sacrifice to your own son, Isaac. Then when he's about to sacrifice his son, he's told not to do it, and he put a ram instead. The ram, which represents the passions of the body, and it points to the impetus of the I am. But the I am can be selfish or transcendental. Master Ishu always said ena when he was speaking. In the Aramaic texts, you always find ena, I. I and the Father are one. The Father is the primordial Adam, the cosmic man, so to say, which is Brahman in India. Brah is expansive, man is manas, mente, mind, expansive mind. So the Brahman, the primordial man, lives in us as Atman. So it's I and the Father are one, because I am aware of the presence of the primordial Adam. Adam is the face of the true God. It's not God in itself. No one has seen God, says the book of John. The only begotten Son, who dwells in the bosom of the Father, has made him known. The only begotten God or Son is the divine self that must grow in us. All the divine selves are a body, the body of the Messiah. And the man that came as issue was the head, the master which brought the message without interference. So in his teaching, there is a lot that people misunderstand. This is why I have been teaching many years, trying to convey this original meaning, because it brought healing to my life. The other day I even was enlightened by a new interpretation of the passage of the Samaritan woman. If you recall, the Samaritan woman is in the well of Jacob taking water, and Master Isho says, "Woman, give me water." And she says, "How do you ask me for water, being you, a man, and me being a Samaritan?" And he says, "If you knew who I am, you would not be asking that question, and you would even be asking for water to me, because I have water that quenches the thirst forever." And she says, "I want those waters." And he says, "Well, bring your husband." And she says, "I don't have a husband." And Isho says, "That's true. It's the only thing true you have said, because the husbands you had were not your true husband, and the one you have now is not your husband either." So I realized she had 6 husbands which were not her husband, her true husband. So who were the 6 husbands? The true husband is the master, obviously. And then the master in me made me see that the 6 husbands are the 6 senses, the 5 carnal and the psychological sense, or the 6 sephirot in the middle of the tree of knowledge, or the tree of life as well. Chesed, mercy; Geburah, force, discipline; Tiferet, beauty; Netzach, desire, passions; Od, the splendor of truth, mental analysis; and Yesod, vitality. So if we only remain with those without connecting beauty, vital energy, mercy, etc. to the master, we only drink from the well of Jacob. Jacob is Tiferet, by the way. So something is missing in many spiritual teachings, because they miss the master, the true master. So what is the true master? The true master is an intelligence that can transcend deception in ourselves. It accepts but also rejects. Is Chesed, Geburah; is Keter, is a crown; Chokmah, wisdom; Binah, understanding of the opposites; Da'at Elyon, and a sphere which even Kabbalists usually don't explain, because they think there is only that which is like a void, surrounding light, they say, surrounding consciousness, but it's not a mere surrounding light. It's the connection with the divine mind. That's Da'at Elyon, the higher knowing. This is what brings a connection between the primordial source, Atzilut, the emanation, what is close, and the world of the soul and the physical body. By the way, that's also the meaning of the Tetragrammaton, the 4 letters, which some people misunderstand by an entity called Jehovah. are the connection of the primordial source going through the mental, spiritual world, the astral world, and the physical. So 4 planes. Those are in us. And that tetragrammaton is the generator of existence in its totality. Now, in the absolute generator, there are energies that can become destructive. This is why ancient teachings spoke of El Shaddai that can become shed destruction. When the destroyer, Hamashit, destroys or kills the firstborn of the Egyptians. The Egyptians represents the people of the flesh. They are trapped in Mitzrayim, Egypt. We live in many Egypts, mental Egypts, carnal Egypts. We have to come out. That's becoming a true Israelite. An Israelite is not a person born within the Jewish family. That has nothing to do with Israel. Israel is all over the world. Israel was a collection of people around the world. Just as Abraham is the father of true faith, and Abraham was descendant of Shem. Shem represents the people with the consciousness, aware of the true presence, essence. The Shemites are not a race, are a collection of conscious souls. This started right after the destruction of Atlantis, by the way. It's told in many traditions. In India, Noah is called Manu. And Manu was a figure that brought wisdom, just as the 7 rishis, the 7 sages, from which came the Vedas. Now, Abraham was connected to all that. Abraham, the elevated father, Abraham, was married to Sarah, just as Brahma to Sarasvati in India. Abraham represents a deeper self which is in the process of bringing transformation into the body, which is Sarah. The personality, the carnal personality is Sarah. And their son, Isaac, is an aspect that we should not sacrifice totally. We should live here in the world with a carnal personality, but elevating the experience. We have to sacrifice the ram, the impetus, the selfishness. Our need to fight is more a release, an acceptance, even of things that can be painful. I'm going to move so you can have a better vision. A while ago I was exploring where to record, and a very heavy insect impacted in my right ear, and it was really painful. First I thought, I don't want to record, this is very painful. But I just said, no, I came to speak about the presence. So I want to accept this pain in my ear. Maybe there is a message. Maybe I was not listening. And it's true, because I was sweating. It was a place full of insects, and the sound of the cicadas was very strong. But I relaxed, I accepted. I realized the bug didn't sting me. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a grasshopper or something heavier. Because I saw like a dart. It was gray, very heavy. And I still have pain, but it's not so intense. The first thing that came to my mind was a rod, a mystery. People don't know what they are. They are like very fast insects that travel through the air. No one has been able to capture them. Maybe they are made of plasma, because scientists have discovered that there are plasma beings in the atmosphere. They absorb some form of energy from the atmosphere. And here in these environments, there are things we don't understand. So we have to be protected. And the only protection is presence. There have been people who have been safe in a wild environment because they return to their presence, calmness. The animals can sense your calmness. A violent dog will be more likely to obey a calm person than a person who is reacting, shouting, who's nervous. The dog can sense all that as a threat. And nature itself can sense ourselves as a threat. So we have to respect Elohim. Bring the generator of Armonya, Yud Vav Hei, in union with Elohim, so that we can have Yud Vav Hei Elohim. That was the teaching, the original teaching. It has nothing to do with Lord God. Lord is a satanic title. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and don't do what I tell you? Said Master Isho. I no longer call you my servants. You are my friends, because I tell you what I listen from the Father, the primordial Adam, primordial intelligence. But the servants, the slaves, do not know what their Lord is doing. People subject themselves to lords, instructors, guides, and they don't know who the master is. Even within supposedly mystic teachings, there is a lot of corruption in Gnosticism, in mystics, in some forms of mystic Christianity where they worship some lord. It's necessary to understand, to go beyond the literal understanding. Now it's getting very dark and the warhawks are near. I'm listening. In the place where I lived before, I met warhawks and it was an intense experience. You can sense the power of that animal, which is dangerous. But they are usually more afraid of us and they run away. Now, remember that in a situation of danger it's necessary to keep calm, so you can think quickly. And there is also a time to stay and a time to move, a time to speak and a time to shut up. So I'm going to shut up now, and remember, I will leave an article in the blog with many keys. I also have courses of music therapy, using instruments such as the voice or the piano, the lyre, the oud, Turkish lute, the ney, Turkish flute. I also offer courses of holistic psychotherapy, ontodynamics. So let's live the presence that leads to the love without limits, life without fragmentation, integral conscience, and deep, blissful serenity.